Oh, got a meniscus tear? Well, I'm going to show you some stretches and exercises while cool Remy hangs out. So let's get started. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So for the stretches, you're going to need a stretch strap, a dog leash, or a belt to stretch with. So the first one we're going to do is a calf stretch. I like using the straps to do the stretches because then you can just really relax those muscles and get into the stretch. Making a little loop, put it around the ball of your foot, so not up on the toes because it'll slip off, and not too low because then you won't get that good stretch. So you want to use the strap to pull your foot. So you're not actively moving your foot, you're pulling the strap to get that stretch. And you should really feel that stretch underneath your calf. So for a meniscus tear, or also called a meniscal tear, that's the cushion inside your knee. So you want to stretch all those muscles around the knee to help take the pressure off of that knee. Holding that stretch for about 30 seconds, take a little break, and then do that a total of 3 times. So I often call the meniscus like a suction cup. If you think about a suction cup on a window, if it gets a tear in it, then it becomes unstable, and then all those muscles tighten up. And so that's what the meniscus does. It's that protector and that stabilizer in the knee. So just leaving the strap where it is, then go ahead and lie down, and then we're going to go into a hamstring stretch. So with the hamstring stretch, you want to keep your legs straight and locked out. But again, you're going to use the strap to do all the stretching and lifting. So I'm not actively lifting up my leg. I'm using this strap to pull my leg up to get that hamstring stretch. So the hamstrings down here, cross the joint, those calves there, cross the joint the other way. So that's why we're getting those stretches in there. Try not to bend the knee because then you're not getting that stretch in the hamstring anymore. So if it's really tight up here, then just drop it down a little bit. If you want to get the calf stretch in there while you're stretching the hamstrings, you can pull your toes up and then you're going to kind of get a double stretch. But sometimes it's nice just to kind of relax that so you can really focus on those hamstrings. So it's the same thing, holding that stretch for 30 seconds, coming down, taking a little break, and then coming back up. Now, a lot of times I know with a meniscal tear, putting that knee completely straight might be a little uncomfortable. So the only exception I would say is if it's really painful to kind of block that knee out, you can put a slight bend in it, but still then maybe go up a little bit higher to get those hamstring stretches. So that would be the only time I'd say it's okay to modify it. So then the next one is going to be a quad stretch in the front. I'm going to switch feet just so then it'll be closer to you, but you would just keep it on that same leg, the one where the tear is, and then roll over onto your stomach. If you have a nice long strap, I like that because then you can wrap it around your shoulder. And then so the strap kind of goes around your ankle this time. And so make sure you're in a comfortable position. If propping up on your elbows is a little uncomfortable for your back, make sure you're lying all the way down. And then just take the strap, and same thing, you're letting the strap do all the work, and then you're pulling that heel towards your bottom to get that stretch. Same thing, now we're getting into that bend. So sometimes with the meniscus tear or the meniscal tear, if you're pulling really hard into that bend, it might be really uncomfortable. So go gently. You want to just get that nice comfortable stretch. The stretch should be in the front thigh area. That's where your quad muscle is. You might feel it a little bit closer to the knee where the quad tendon is. But again, it shouldn't be painful. It should just kind of be that uncomfortable stretch feeling. And again, holding that for 30 seconds and then holding that 3 times. So then once you get it all nice and stretched out, we're going to go into a couple exercises, especially if you're early on in your tear. Doing some things like isometric exercises are really nice because it just really helps kind of activate those muscles, but not pushing them into an uncomfortable position. So a quad set is really all you're doing is you're activating or squeezing that quad muscle and pushing that knee down. If you're having a hard time, like if there's still a little bit of a bend in your knee, you can roll up a towel and put underneath for a target and to kind of protect that bend a little bit. But if you can get it all the way straight, that's what you really want to do. Try and keep your heel down. A lot of times people will do this and bring their heel up, but then you're kind of doing a different exercise. Try and keep that heel down and just flatten that knee down in there. So see, I'm squeezing that quad muscle to push all the way down in there. And I'm holding it for about 3 to 5 seconds and then relaxing. So while I do a couple of those, I just do want to mention if you have a meniscus tear and it's been diagnosed, always try physical therapy first. It used to be the first line of defense with surgery, but a lot of research now is showing that you can do just as well with physical therapy. So make sure you're checking with your doctor, see if you can go to physical therapy first, and see if you can get it feeling better. So then the next one is going to be a hamstring set. So same kind of thing, we're activating that muscle, but we're not going to make a big movement that might be painful right now. So now I'm just going to slide it up, get it in a comfortable position where I can bend it, but it doesn't feel too tight or painful. And so now I'm just going to push my heel down into the bed, the couch, or if I'm on the floor, if I'm comfortable enough to get onto the floor. But I'm kind of pushing at an angle. So I'm pushing down and in, almost like I'm trying to slide my foot up, but the couch is preventing it. So I'm pushing down and in, and I can feel those hamstrings activating. Now with the quad sets and the hamstring sets, don't feel like you have to push as hard as you can. Don't feel like you need to go to 100%, especially if you're really new into your injury. If you're not too far out, you might just want to do 20 to 30 or 30 to 40%, because if you're pushing as hard as you can, it might hurt. So just enough to get those muscles activated, kind of waking them up again. It doesn't have to be anything wild and crazy. You're just kind of pushing in, holding that 3 to 5 seconds and relaxing. And then if that feels okay, then, do that 2 or 3 days, and then the next time you do it, maybe try 40 to 50% and slowly progress from there. So then the next one, we're going to roll back on our tummy. We're going to go into a hip extension. So a lot of times people think of, if they have knee pain, why am I exercising my hips? But you want your hips strong because that helps with the knee as well. Those muscles, a lot of those muscles that go up to the knee also come into the hip. So you really want to make sure you're working all the muscles around the hip as well as the muscles around the knee. So again, get rolling onto your tummy. If you can prop up on your elbows and that doesn't bother your back, that's fine. But if that's a little uncomfortable, make sure you're lying down and make sure that you're comfortable. Pull up your toes again to try and lock out that knee. But again, if that's a little uncomfortable, you can unlock it just a little bit, but you really want that leg to be as straight as you can comfortably have it. So if you can lock it out, that's what you want to do. Try and keep your hips down. A lot of people will try and lift their leg and they'll roll. So you're not rolling, you're keeping the hips down and you're just bringing that leg up a little bit. So I'm not lifting it very far because then I'm going to have to roll to get it higher. I'm just activating those muscles, those glutes in the back to get some strength in there. And so it doesn't have to be a big lift, it just has to be activating those muscles. So coming up nice and slow, you can do a little pause at the top and then coming back down slow as well. So now we're just going to roll on to our side. So this time, the side I want to exercise is going to be up on top. This is going to be a clamshell exercise. Clamshells always look easy, but if you're doing them right, they're tougher than they look. So same thing, I'm just propping up on my elbow so I can see you a little bit better. Make sure you're lying down, make sure you're comfortable if this is a little bit uncomfortable for you. With clamshells, the key is make sure your hips are perpendicular to whatever you're lying on. So they're not rolled back, they're not rolled forward, they're kind of nice, straight up and down. Feet stay together, knees are stacked on top of each other, and then you're just bringing your knee up a little bit. But again, try not to roll your hips. So a lot of times I'll tell people, just place your hand on your hip so you know if you're rolling or not. Keep the feet together and then just lift and then nice and slow coming back down. You don't have to put your hand there, again, just lifting up, but you don't want to roll back because then that's taking away from the exercise. So just lifting up and then nice and slow coming back down. So again, like I said, sometimes this you can do 4 to 5 and you're like, I don't feel like I'm really doing anything. But once you get to like 6, 7, 8, you're like, okay, I feel it right there. And that's where you want to feel it, kind of in that gluteus medius area. And again, this has a lot to do with our knee. Even though it's far away and we don't think it does, it has a lot to do with that. And so getting these muscles stronger will help protect that meniscus in the knee. So there you have it. Those were stretches and exercises for meniscus or meniscal tear. If you'd like to check out some other videos, check them out over here. I know, Callie. And don't forget to subscribe. Where? Yep, down there. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.